Hello, hello. I am so excited today to introduce you to more of our coaches from the Design, Live, Thrive Summit. If this is the first time you're hearing about the summit, I want to invite you to save your free seat, designlivethrive.com. We are going to be helping women expand their life, really redefine what they want for their life, and finish 2025 strong. Who needs to pick up the pace after a fun summer, right? So join us September 5th and 6th. We're going to introduce you today to some of our speakers. You're going to hear more about their talks and more about the summit. But first, I have to introduce you to our co-host, Thais Glenn.
Hey guys, it's so good to be here again in this podcast. You know how much I love being here. And today we have so many amazing coaches together. So we have a great episode for all of you.
So let me first start with you, Danielle. I want you to introduce yourself, tell everybody what you're going to be teaching and talking about and what you're most passionate about, but also why should women attend the summit?
Thanks so much for having me on today. I'm super excited to be here. My talk is actually called Shape Your Next Chapter, Be the Author and Not the Character. And it's based in rooting yourself in the Enneagram and understanding yourself using the Enneagram and how we can shape our next chapters. And why I'm excited to attend the summit is to learn from all of these amazing coaches on things that I'm unfamiliar with. I'm super excited to learn from Laurie about protein, poop, and pillows, and from Lisa on going back to work with grief, because I know that is so, every year people, lose someone that they love and go back to work with grief. So I'm super excited to hear about a lot of the other women and what they're talking about as well.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Thais and I have had a sneak peek of everybody's talk. Although they'll be presenting live, we have watched their talks and what they're going to be talking about, and it is so good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's funny how Danielle was talking about the poo talk, because that's how we talk about you, Laurie. You guys going to hear from Laurie, but you will never see your poop the same way. What is a fun talk, right, to have in a summit, but it is important part of your existence. So her talk is awesome. And she's teaching a lot of things that I bet you didn't know.
Oh my goodness. Lisa Kelly, will you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about and what you might be looking forward to?
Sure. I'm Lisa Kelly. I'm a grief to work coach, and I help men and women get back to work productively after a significant loss, such as a loss in a relationship, a loss of a pet, a loss of a job, loss of health, loss of pregnancy, all kinds of losses that set us back during the workday. My title of my presentation is called Back to Work, but Not Back to Normal, and it's a practical guide to navigating grief on the job. Inside, I believe there's going to be some stunning statistics that you might be interested in. And we're going to meet a girl named Kristen, and she's an accountant who was recently widowed, and how my Pearls method, which is my signature framework for getting through a loss, can help Kristen in her workday, in her daily life outside of work also. I am excited to listen to all the girls' speeches because I got a sneak peek of Laurie's presentation too, and I will never look at poop the same way. Laurie, it was a great presentation. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Okay, I have to pause for a moment and say you can already see how exciting this is going to be. And I also want to invite you to upgrade your ticket. We do have some availability on our VIP upgrade. What that includes is 1 full year of access to every speaker's talk. Also, every speaker is giving a gift that will be a companion guide, maybe a journal, something that will help you sort of take the next step after learning from them. But we're also, with that 1 VIP ticket, you're also getting 2 coaching sessions. So we'll give you a list of coaches that you can choose from, and they really are genuinely coaching sessions. So if you are somebody who's interested in coaching, for $27, you can get 2 coaching sessions, 1 full year access to the talks, and it's going to be amazing. So make sure you grab your ticket there. Again, designlivethrive.com. Okay, Vicki, I'm going to call you out. Girl, tell us who you coach, what you're going to be teaching us, and what you're looking forward to.
Hi, I'm Vicki Oberlander, and I am strategic financial coach with Vicki's Pathways. My talk is called your financial GPS, navigating from where you are to where you want to be. And in my talk, I am wanting to help individuals or couples take control of their finances. So, really, I am helping you determine your financial picture and look at your goals from a new light and showing you a new way to navigate through that.
Beautiful. One thing that I loved about Vicki's approach is you're not a financial planner, but you're also not going to get somebody on a strict budget. You're just going to help somebody reach goals. I know you mentioned like helping somebody get, a path to getting their house paid off early.
Yes, they were near retirement, and it was one of those last checkmark items they needed to do before that time. And so,
There's one thing about her talk that I watched and I thought was very phenomenal, because when we think of finance or, just money in general, your mind typically goes to, I don't have enough. And the way she's explaining, it's really taking all the judgment out of your money and just understanding where you are at, right? How much money do you actually have? How much of your house is paid for? How much of everything? And she has such a deep process to teach you, to really explain how to calculate everything. And I have the impression that's your freebie. I'm guessing, but I'm not going to say much here. I think you guys might receive this beautiful calculator that it is so intense, and she makes it so easy for you to understand and really seeing how much money you have. It's not good nor bad. That's the impression I got from her explanations. It's not good nor bad, but let's see where you are. That's why the GPS here, right? And where you want to go. What is the goal that you want to accomplish? And she's like, I have the pathway for you to achieve that. So I loved your talk, Vicki. It was really good.
I'm going to pause for a moment and we're going to highlight Thais Glenn. Thais Glenn is not only the co-host of the summit, but she is, you can tell, the explorer of every single talk. She has watched them all. She has reviewed them. She's given really beautiful feedback. So if you're a coach who is thinking like, gosh, someday that would be fun to be in a summit, I'm going to just take a pause for a moment and just talk about our process and what we do for coaches. Our clients are the speakers at this summit, but they're not just on their own writing a talk. We actually teach them every step of the way how to write the talk, what the outline should be, how to pick the right title, how to deliver it, how to share the slides on Zoom. Then even all the way down to getting the freebie to them. We've written the nurture emails that follow. We've written all the marketing emails. We've created all the graphics with every person's picture on it. This is really a big production. But in the end, you can take a coach that doesn't have an audience. They come to our summit and they leave not only with a presentation that they can use for something else, but also essentially a funnel setup, right? That will deliver something and deliver emails. It's a beautiful thing. And plus, it puts them out to be marketing themselves already. But all that to say, Thais has been overseeing every single step of this. So she knows exactly what every talk is about. So thank you, Thais.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad I got to have that job because it was really fun watching everything. And, just as those coaches here, we know they're great coaches, right? We have seen them for like some of them over a year. And we know that they are amazing coaches, but it's very different of being, getting the hat of I am a good coach and then getting the hat of I'm a good business owner. And that is the identity work that we do with all of them. In the summit, I think it's that the cherry on top, right? It's when you really know that now you are an entrepreneur and we can't just let them figure it out. We really walk them step by step so that they can, the summit, they will see it. I always tell them from the beginning, at the end of the summit, you will see yourself differently because you already made all this progress and now you can see the results right there, right?
Beautiful. All right, Laurie Welsh, we're going to go to you, the girl we're talking about the poop about. So introduce yourself. Now we know about your talk and tell us what you're excited about.
Well, I'm Laurie Welsh, functional nutrition lifestyle practitioner. And okay, my talk is poop, pillows, and protein, the trio to regain your energy. And it's not really about poop, it's digestion, but poop is your daily report card. So that's how we're going to transition into that. But I'm really excited for a lot of the other talks. I just appreciate all of you, all the coaches, Thais and Debbie. We couldn't have done this without you. So.
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about everybody else. It's so much fun. Thais, I'll let you take over.
Judy, how was this experience?
It has been absolutely wonderful. I'm Judy Jackson, everybody, and I'm a transformational grief coach and educator. I help widowed women heal and feel hopeful and begin to rebuild their lives after the loss of their spouse. And that topic is really, it hit homes for me because I lived it myself. I was a widow for 17 years and I've remarried. And I was stuck. I struggled a lot during that time period. And I found coaching. And coaching was my candle in my darkness. And so now I want to help widowed women create that same transformation.
Oh, I love how you explain that, right? It's that candle. How did you say it's your candle?
Coaching was my candle in my darkness.
Coaching was your candle in your darkness. That is beautiful. And yes, I totally see that. I totally see. And really getting you unstuck, right? After a moment like that. And you are such a beautiful example, Judy. We love watching you here.
Thank you so much. I'm just honored to be here. You know, I think you all are a fantastic, beautiful group of women. And I just feel so much gratitude that I'm getting to know you all. And I'm so excited for our future.
Beautiful. I have to tell you, because I have worked on Judy's talk with her, and something that is interesting with grief, and I haven't experienced it in the same way that Judy has, but knowing that you can move on. Tell us that part, Judy, about being able to move on without forgetting.
Yes, moving in grief there, you know, it's such a complex experience. I lost my husband. He was diagnosed with cancer of the kidney and he died 6 weeks later. So it was to be able to accept that loss and navigate through it was an extreme challenge for me. But I want all widowed women and just people in general that have experienced loss of a child, loss of somebody that is very close to you, that there is life after loss. And if you would just afford yourself the opportunity to heal and to believe that you can create a new life. And I feel that I'm a living example of that. And I want to help other women in that transformation.
Yes. I think it's very interesting, especially with this group of coaches in the summit. We have 3 grief coaches here, right? And we have them here today. But it's interesting even how their talks are connected because like Judy, it's absolutely essential to have that help, right? When you feel your world has, collapsed, but then some widows need to go back to work right away, right? And that's where Lisa's coaching would come in so handy to really help you, not just with the grief process and rebuilding yourself, but how can you do this and going back to work? And then we have Kathleen that I would love to hear next, Kathleen. It's this whole idea of what do I do with the money? Right? Especially if your husband has been, or the partner has been not controlling, how would I say this? Just organizing the finances for so long. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now it's all on me. How do we do this? And that's where Kathleen comes in. So Kathleen, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your talk, and what you expect from this summit?
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm so thrilled to be following Judy because, what she says is so true in terms of the heart. I'm a certified financial planner with decades of experience. But the reason this whole thing is so important to me is that my dad died when I was young, and my mom and dad were on their way to the attorney's office. He had a heart attack and died, and they never made the appointment. So, they were doing all they could do to be prepared and to do the right thing. But oftentimes, it's just overwhelming. And research has shown that women, they call it widow's brain or fog, it is truly a biochemical reaction in our brain, and our brain is meant to protect us from loss and from pain. And so the executive function, the neural cortex, is what gets impacted, affecting our attention, our ability to make decisions, and so forth. So my mission is to come alongside the woman and to help her organize with grace in terms of the money, with what's going on, what needs to be fixed, what income is changing, and then clearing the budget. Because oftentimes when someone dies, income will drop, but expenses really don't change too much, but taxes go up. So it's to really create a plan that stabilizes her, gives her security, and then invites the future to say, okay, what is it that lights you up? Because only one person died, two don't need to be buried. And that's the thing. It's like we want to move and in their time, of course, but to encourage the woman to have life again, a meaningful, purposeful life that brings her joy. And that's really what my intent is.
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow
And
is right.
yes, and it's good to see how the client, in some ways, needs to know what they need right now, right? It's not just a grief coach, but just right here, we can see three very distinct ways of coaching the same person. So you knowing what you need the most right now is also extremely important. And of course, that is one of the reasons why when you buy the VIP pass for the Design Live Thrive, you will receive 2 free coaching calls with a lot of those coaches right here. And that's why. So you can even ask the questions of maybe what do I need the most now, right? Like, how could you help me better? So it's going to be awesome. If you are grieving, definitely you need to get in touch with some of those amazing coaches right here.
Let me pass on too that you would invite a fellow friend, that you would invite a family member, because again, with grief, for example, it might not be you, but you might know somebody close to you. And I've also learned from working with Judy, grief can last for years and it shows up in all different ways. So you might have, a girlfriend or a sister or somebody who lost somebody that was important to them years ago that still would benefit from being here because they might be grieving, at different times. So anyway, thank you so much. Wow. So excited about that.
Okay, next, I would love to hear from Charlotte. And Charlotte, we have worked quite closely on your niche and just defining who you coach and how you coach, because we kind of shifted a little bit when you start working with us. And your talk is amazing. I've had some close friends who had bariatric surgery in the past and they regained the weight. So that is one topic that it's close to my heart because I know how much pain they are, right? Because of what happened. And that's what you're talking about in this summit. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks so much, Thais. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about how to lose weight after bariatric surgery because this happens to about 75% of the people who have it. When you initially have the surgery, you do it because you feel stuck. You've tried everything and you still can't lose the weight. So then you have the surgery, you lose weight, but 2 years afterwards, you start to regain that weight back. And one of the biggest reasons is because you haven't made lifestyle changes. So what I'm talking with people about is how to lose that weight again without resorting to those same type of diets that you had before, without taking shots and without taking pills. Because those are the 3 things that people turn to. They didn't work before you had the surgery, and they're not going to work after you had it. So I help them to lose that weight in a holistic way by helping them to implement lifestyle changes that can support their goal or their new weight.
Beautiful. Charlotte, we are excited. And if you look at Charlotte's shirt, move your hands. Charlotte has lost over 100 pounds more than one time. Is that correct, Charlotte?
Yes, but this time I kept it off.
There you go.
There
That's
we
right.
go.
That's right. And that's what she's going to be coaching people around. So congratulations on that.
Okay, Debbie, hold on just a second. So I actually sent an email to Charlotte today, and on her response, I saw something different in her signature. And I thought it was so cool. She says, change your thinking, change your weight. And I love the perspective that she has, because the surgery can be extremely helpful, right? Like, we're not against that surgery, but it's not until you change that thinking to really change the weight. It's not just a magic pill or a magic surgery or some magic shots. There is the root cause of why you would gain weight again. And that is how Charlotte really helps you changing the whole lifestyle, right? So it's not against the bariatric surgery, but what else can we do to really sustain the weight loss that you received? So it's pretty exciting, Charlotte. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's all true, because the surgery just changes your digestive tract. It does nothing here.
Hey coaches, it's Debbie Shadid here. I've got something very special for you. If you're trying to figure out how to get coaching clients on your own and you're wondering what to post, how to explain what you do, or how to actually sell your coaching, this is for you. I'm inviting you to join me for a live edition of the Fast Track and VIP coaching experiences. This is your chance to stop spinning in indecision and finally take those actions that are needed to build a profitable coaching business. You'll get the answers, the guidance, the support you're looking for, plus real-time feedback on your niche, your offers, and your marketing. Spots are very limited and enrollment closes soon. Let's connect. DebbieShadid.com/schedule to claim your spot and to talk about your options. Let's get you clients faster and easier than you ever imagined. Okay, I want to introduce you guys to Susan, but first I want to tell you, one of the great things about being a summit speaker in this summit is that you get to be in the next summit if you want to. So Susan was a former client who grew a business, has done all kinds of magical things, and has a thriving business. And we invited her to come back. And so here she is. So Susan, introduce yourself to everyone here. Tell us what your talk's going to be about and kind of what you're looking forward to.
Well, thank you so much. I am so happy to be back here, and I'm so happy to meet all of you, and especially be with Debbie and Thais again. It's just fabulous. So my talk is 3 ancient secrets that every woman should know to reclaim energy and vitality, specifically women in midlife, perimenopause, menopause, and beyond, for as long as we can do it. So I want to say that we do not have to accept what any other generation did. Not any other generation did. We can take a different journey. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, we so often accept that, oh, this is just part of the aging process. I don't know why I have these energy slumps. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Oh, it just must be age. It does not have to be that way. We don't have to go that same route. We can do something different, and I am living proof of how that can be. So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing that with you, that we can live long lives better than ever before in our next chapter and beyond. So that's what this is about. And specifically, I'm going to be talking about how modern science meets Eastern healing wisdom traditions, because when you merge the two, that's the difference here that I'm talking about. It's as powerful can be. Now, why I'm so excited to be here. Number one, I want to hear, it's by women, for women. It's a different perspective. We've all had grief in our life. We all can use some financial advice, but from a different perspective. And I have people in my life who have had bariatric surgery and have gained the weight back. So there is so much knowledge and wisdom and wealth here that I want. And lastly, I want to say is I sat where some of you sat, what, about a year and a half ago or so? And I now have a thriving business. And anytime I can learn from Debbie and Thais, I want to come back and do that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Susan. I have to tell you, I learned from her a few days ago, and she doesn't know this. So, one of the beautiful things is when you attend the summit, you're going to be, feel connected to the coaches. You're going to know what they're talking about. You feel like you're part of their world, and you'll be following them on social media and engaging with them. And Susan, I think it was on Facebook, it came up and you were standing outside and you were talking about bladder leaks. She started talking about posture and demonstrating, and she was demonstrating how your posture has to do with incontinence, essentially, is what you were saying. I was like, okay, I've never heard anyone talk about that. So, another added benefit to get connected, Susan. That was really good.
Thank you.
All right, Monique, introduce yourself and tell us what you're going to be talking about.
My name is Monique Horb, and I am a professional organizer and life coach for midlife women. So I'm going to be talking about how to get unstuck, a midlife reset. So letting go, getting organized, and making space for what matters. So if you're in midlife, like most of us are, we have collected not just stuff for our house, activities for our lives, thoughts in our head, and we might be at a completely different stage than we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And we are still living in the same place or the same way or thinking the same things, where now, 20 years later, my kids have moved out of the house. Things are different. I don't have the same responsibilities. I don't have the same thoughts. And so this is the perfect time to figure out, where are you? Take those glasses off, do some evaluation, and figure out, where do I want to go? And in order to get there, what do I need to let go of so that I can make space for my dreams and goals at this stage?
I love that. It's like organizing your house, but organizing your head and all that goes on in you.
Yep.
And everybody's trying to figure out what's next at this point in their life, like what's next. And you help them get clarity by cleaning out the clutter.
Yep.
Well, it's not just the cleaning up the clutter, right? Like you would be easy to just get in a bedroom and trash half of the things. But it's my little daughter, she always talks about her memories. So we were cleaning her closet and she's like, I don't want to trash this dress. I have too many memories, right? I think that's also, Monique, what you really get to. It's the mindset that you have. You can have your memories and not keep 300 dresses in your closet.
Yeah.
Right?
You can do that.
How can you move that phase and still be able to look back and have the memories and have the love towards those things, but not having your house completely cluttered?
Right, because we really want to do other things besides cleaning our house and moving things around and reorganizing. Like, there's got to be more than that. So that's what I really want to encourage women to do.
Yes, that's what I tell my husband. It needs to be more than this to life, right? I can't just clean the house on weekends. So
right, I don't want to make it so that that's not how your weekends are filled. They're not filled with cleaning. They're filled with relationships, activities, connections with others.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, next, I would love to hear from Sherry. Sherry is a beautiful coach. Her topic can be a little bit sensitive. So, Sherry, why don't you tell us a little bit more of what you will be talking about? Because this is extremely important nowadays.
Thank you, Thais. Yeah, it really is. So I'm a trauma-informed sexual betrayal and gaslighting recovery coach. And I help betrayed women heal from the trauma, gaslighting, and grief of sexual betrayal. And that can be anything from their partner's infidelity. Many of my clients, they have partners with a whole range of other behaviors. So it's often an uncomfortable topic, but I'm really excited for this opportunity to reach more women and help them feel seen and heard and validated, because unfortunately, there are so many women out there who are going through this. It's mind-blowing. And I really want to bring healing to as many women as possible. So as for my talk specifically, it's called You're Not Crazy, Understanding the Impact of Infidelity and Sexual Betrayal. And it's important for women to understand that safety, not just time, is the foundation of healing.
Yes. So you guys can see it is a sensitive topic and there's a lot of hurt, but I think, Sherry, the way you explain in your talk, that it's that question that I think every woman who has gone through that situation ask themselves, like, am I crazy here? Right? Is this really happening to me? Am I crazy? So the way you explain on your talk, it's, oh, honey, no, you're not crazy, right? There is a reason why you were thinking the way you were thinking. And let's detangle this.
It's so interesting, but you're grieving a person who's still alive. You're grieving the past you thought you had, the present that you don't know what it is, and the future you thought you were going to have. So it's loss where people don't bring you casseroles. They don't generally offer help because it's such an uncomfortable topic and it makes people uncomfortable. So that's why I think it's so important to for women to have a safe, validating space where they can just be honest and vulnerable and not be judged or minimized or blamed.
Thank you. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. How about you, Norma? Tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your topic, about everything that you have to share here with us.
My goodness. I'm Norma. I am a functional health coach or practitioner. And my topic is about why your diet's not working, the hormonal truth that no one's telling you about. My topic's important because we as women, after we hit a certain age, we start to wonder, okay, why can't this weight drop off? And it's not your fault. It has to do with our hormones. And I have different ways. It's lifestyle changes where I go and introduce what I call my DRESS protocol, which is diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. And we go through that protocol, as well as going to find your hidden triggers, all your hidden stressors. But I'm so excited to be here. I just heard all the lineup and I'm just like, oh my God, my mom needs to hear that. My daughter needs to hear this. And it's super exciting. All the topics are amazing and I can't wait to listen to all of them.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you. I think your talk also reminds me a different side of Susan's talk, where you don't need to necessarily believe everything that your mom told you, right? I remember my mom saying and I was a little girl, and she would say things like, oh, when you get to 40 years old, you're going to gain so much weight. There's nothing you can do. And sure enough, when I was like 38, 39, I started gaining weight. I was like, wait a minute, I don't actually need to believe her. And sure enough, hormones was a big problem. So I love how you guys are approaching this, because it's not just this is all will happen. You have zero control over your life. It's more of the question, how can I get control of my life? Because I can have a beautiful midlife, health is strong and beautiful, right? There's no rule here that we need to let everything go and just be okay with what your past generations had taught you. So I'm super excited for your guys' talks.
I want to mention for those of you who are listening to this episode that the summit actually starts on September 5th and 6th. And so you might be listening to this months after the summit is already passed. And I want to invite you to go to designlivethrive.com and save your seat. And I want you to upgrade and get the VIP pass, because you'll have access to these talks to be able to go back over them again, to review the free guides and what each of these beautiful coaches are providing for you. So I'd like to take just a turn in our conversation and talk about the preparation for the summit. There's a lot of coaches listening today that are thinking like, oh my gosh, this sounds kind of fun, but I mean, what is really all involved in this? So I would love to hear from some of you guys, maybe just a quick takeaway of one portion of getting ready for this day that maybe you didn't know that you were going to have to do, or one part that you're just really proud of yourself for accomplishing. Lisa Kelly, you want to start?
Right now, I'm working on my presentation and my slides, and I'm using no notes to do it. I want to get in that habit of not having to depend on my notes. So thank you for that challenge in doing that.
Beautiful. Laurie Welsh, how about you?
Well, there are a lot of things. I think the social media posting, that's always been my, don't really like doing it. But just yesterday, I just clicked on and did a reel, just me. And yeah, it feels good. It feels much more confident. And also all of the steps that you really need to accomplish this whole summit. As far as all of the emails, the slides and the talk, that's one thing that you need to really know how to do. You need to know how to get your message out. But then your freebie and your follow-up emails and all of the things that you really need to envision and wrap up so that you can get the clients in the end And so they realize what you're really coaching and what your message really is.
Laurie, I saw your Instagram reel where you were doing your video, and I was literally clapping when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, she did it. You know, it's interesting because you're listening to this podcast and you probably maybe have been saying, maybe you're on social media, but you might be saying, like, I'm going to do that. I've got to do that. I'm going to get to that. And that's one of the beautiful things about the summit is there really is no, I'm going to get to that, because we hand you the social media and the post and we say, and here is the schedule. And you're going to post like this. So it does sort of take away that's like, oh, geez, I'm in this. I need to do it. But it's an incredible way to basically put yourself really out there because we're helping you do it.
Absolutely.
And it goes more than just the whole, I'm building the business. It's like, oh, honey, if you're building the business, this is the list that you have, right? For you to actually be building the business. Building the business is not posting on social media. There's so much more behind that. And I think, Debbie, your framework does such a beautiful job explaining, and we have several clients here that can attest to this, but explaining the very small step by step for you to actually accomplish that. So some of you listening might be thinking that, oh, come on, it's a summit, we prepare a talk. And that's how I thought before I was in the summit, right? Like, I just need to prepare a talk, it's fine. And then we get the whole list of what is it to be in a summit. And you're like, wow, I actually have to build my whole business to be in the summit, right? Not to make this hard, but yes, it is work. And we are here to support you step by step. But it is work. Right? That is something that you need to take the time to do. So maybe being in the summit is not as simple as might sound, but with the right support, you can absolutely have this beautiful talk and follow-ups and social media and promotions and everything else.
Well, certainly you could be in any summit and just do a talk. I mean, that's where I was like, no, we're not going to just do that. I want these women to always know how to create a signature talk. I want them to always know how to present in a way that's confident and where they're comfortable. I want them to always know, how to use the QR code and get somebody to get the freebie. So I really go far beyond that in wanting to make sure that you're not just doing a talk and that's it. Like, we're even going to have sessions of what is the follow-up after the summit with the people that you engaged with. So it really is, like Thais said, it's a full business building process. So anybody else want to share a takeaway from building this whole entire process? Yeah, Norma, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. This whole process has been challenging, amazing. And like Thais said, this is the first time I'm actually sitting here thinking, wow, I am literally building my business. Mm-hmm. Before it was always talk, post here, post there, but you're not building a business. And how you guys have structured this whole entire to get through the summit has just been mind-blowing. I want to thank you both. It's just been an amazing experience and something I truly needed to get going.
Well, let me highlight Norma, because I would like to also say that Norma has, maybe like you, said, I'm not good at tech. Like, I don't know how to do this stuff. And my computer doesn't work and I can't. And let me tell you what, she has learned how to navigate every one of those things and done all of those things beautifully and landed a client in the process of it. So we're not even to summit day and she already took on a client. So, I mean, that is definitely worth celebrating, Norma. I'm so, so proud of the way you just overcame every challenge that you had in your mind about the summit. So congratulations.
And just to make the point you made here, Debbie, wasn't only Norma. We had more coaches here in this room right now who also landed some clients because of the promotion and showing up on a summit. So it's definitely, we know our process works, right? We do know. And if you do the work, you can see that too. And we have the clients here to tell you how that really does the job, right? It does work. So thank you, Norma, for being you and for working so hard on the summit. You have made so much progress.
Charlotte, can you share a little bit about your experience with the summit?
It's been nice. It has been wonderful. And it has really helped me because what I struggle with sometimes is getting overwhelmed. If I have too much to do and trying to do this and that. But I like the way that you all really just kind of space it out piece by piece. and you gave us deadlines, so that it's like eating the elephant a little bit at a time, so that we were able to do piece by piece, and that helps you to not get so overwhelmed with the work that has to be done. And the wonderful thing about this is that you learn it. A lot of people may hire other people out to do this, but we're actually learning this process so that as we go on to be speakers other places or, other endeavors in our business, we know the process, we know how to do it. So that's a wonderful takeaway that I'm grateful that I learned here.
Thank you, Charlotte, for sharing that. Thank you so much. How about you, Monique?
Well, I'm thankful for this opportunity to be a part of this summit because not only did I learn skills to create a summit talk, which I can transfer to another workshop or masterclass that I might want to teach, I've learned the back end of that. I've also got a lot of clarity on where I'm sitting as a coach. So I have followed Debbie's training for probably a year and a half and finally pulled the trigger and jumped in. So I will say that if you are any sort of coach and you want to push your business faster than you can by yourself, this is definitely the place to be.
Thank you so much, Monique. Thank you. Yes. How about you, Danielle?
Oh gosh, thanks. I think that this experience with the summit has been amazing. As everyone else has said, I've been with Debbie and Thais for about a year, and it's really in the last 6 months that I really pushed myself. And then these last few months of preparing for the summit, I've just grown immensely. And I'm one of the ones who's picked up a client that's allowed me to really expose myself a little more. And through going through this process, it's also given me language and words to talk to people out in the real world. I was even dropping off my car this morning at the car dealership to get serviced, and I decided to just talk to my service advisor, who's a midlife woman. And it was great. I told her all about this, right? But so it's given me that language to really set myself up and all of these other women to have some success. So that's one of the big things that I've taken away. The other really big thing is the collaboration with some of my other attendees here and how we've really supported one another in practicing and building and working together along with Debbie and Thais. It's just been amazing. And that's one of my big values is connection with other people. So it's really given me that as well. So I just can't thank you enough for the amount of confidence I've been able to build through this.
Debbie does attract the best women, the coach clients that she attracts to this business. You guys are, all of you, phenomenal. So I can see the connection that you create, Danielle. That's beautiful. In your talk, Danielle, I know you were talking about the Enneagram, but you also got a little bit different on the Enneagram and how to create that connection, or how to get to know yourself better through Enneagram. And for your business, I remember it being a little bit of, how can I introduce this to my message? And now with the Summit Talk, you are doing such a beautiful job at really meshing everything that you have in your message into this talk and explaining how the Enneagram works. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful talk.
Thank you. That is one of the things that I was able to do, is really streamline my messaging. And that is the other really big piece that I took away from this. So yes, thank you for helping me do that.
All right, Susan, you want to wrap us up?
Yes, thank you. So I used to give business webinars, and I thought that this would be so easy. I would just give a talk. Well, my goodness, it is not that way. There's so much. I used to just do it and everybody else would do everything else for me. And I didn't really understand what was behind all of it. So in my first time around, it was all brand new for me. And I really learned everything from scratch. And Thais, I don't know if you remember, I didn't even know how to use Flowdesk. And do you remember we were on the phone and I was like, oh, I'm never going to do this. I have used this in every aspect of my business. From Debbie, you talked about doing reels. I shied away from social media. Now I'm on there all the time and I've learned how to do it. I gained the confidence. I'm a national speaker now. And I thought none of this was possible. And this time around, I'm refining my skills even more. And I just use what I learned here in another talk. So this is, it pervades every single aspect of my business, has given me confidence. And you know what? I didn't have an email list when I started. And now I have a huge email list, but it all started here. It was the start of my business. So I want to thank you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I feel like I want to do a sales pitch right now because I just want you guys to shake your heads here with me. Let me ask you a question. One of the things that is a challenge as a coach, as you're listening to this and you're excited, right? You're excited and you're saying to yourself, like, I can't spend any more money. I've already spent so much money. I've invested so much money. And how do I know if these guys are the real deal? That's kind of one thing. And the other thing is, I think there's this lack of trust in yourself. Like, will I really do it this time? So I don't know if you guys just want to, yes, no, is it a possibility that yes, you can do it? And yes, it really is one more investment that we believe is really worth people making. Yeah. Okay. If you're on the podcast, they are shaking their heads.
Everyone. And
Oh
we
my
do take
goodness.
that seriously, right? We take the investment very serious. And we know how hard it is to make the investment one more time and to
Yeah.
know that will I do this? Will this time be different? And what I would say, and again, we have this Zoom room filled with our clients. So I couldn't lie here right now. We do hold your hands, right? You might not want to do it. And then we try our very best to put you in a situation like the summit to actually move you forward even a bit more. Sometimes out of your comfort zone. Sometimes we allow you to stay in your comfort zone a little bit longer, but the goal here is for you to build a business. That's what Debbie and I are here to do. And we really do our very best to hold the hand and create the business that you guys desire.
And kick you in the rear to get it done. There you go. That's a loving approach between Thais, the mindset coach, and Debbie, the action coach. So, gosh, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, speakers, for being here. I want to invite you one more time to save your seat, DesireLiveThrive.com. Save your seat. Make sure you upgrade. Hopefully, there'll be some upgrade seats left at the time that you upgrade. But I just want to encourage you to share this episode with a friend. Make sure that you pass it on. You've heard the speakers. Pass on whoever it is that you think might benefit from this. Again, just send them over to DesignLiveThrive.com. You ladies, beautiful ladies, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for doing all the work that was necessary to get to this point and for sharing your gifts to the world, because that is my mission, is to help you guys be able to do that. And you're going to do it. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Have a beautiful day.